It is truly a miracle that we have golf in Jefferson, and let's keep it that way. Good evening, friends, golfers, Jeffersonians, neighbors, anyone that's attended tonight's dinner. I apologize for not being there, but I had other commitments, and again, my heart is with all of you. My name's Jim Goggard. I've been in the golf business for, I'm probably embarrassed to say, but about 45 years. I started as a caddy and worked my way up through the ranks and became a course owner several times. It's an amazing business, it's an amazing hobby, it's an amazing recreation. When the opportunity at Jefferson showed itself, I would say, and unfortunately the previous owners and the economy and everything forced it to close, we put together a very small group and said, you know, I wonder if Jefferson will ever see golf again. And myself and a couple other people pursued that opportunity, and it's where we are today. We have a 13-hole golf course, which really is just short of a miracle that Jefferson has a golf course. The course was closed for about a year and a half, and we put a few things together and all the stars lined up, and congratulations to everyone that supported the program, and let's continue to keep this thing going. So let's back up a little bit and talk a little bit about the history of golf in Jefferson. So in the early 1920s, I think 23 or 24 is what my kind of memory or research found out, that a group of locals put together some funds, came up with this idea that they wanted to build a golf course, have this community recreation opportunity in the city of Jefferson, and they got it started. And everything worked fine. They worked through all the good economic times, the bad economic times. I didn't really know much about Meadow Springs until I met a gal from Jefferson. I actually married a gal from Jefferson. I was born in Sullivan, just down the street here, where there was 412 people. And when we moved out of town, I moved to Madison when I was 7 or 8 years old. They crossed off 412 and wrote down 406 because there were 6 Goggards that moved a little bit west to Madison. And so I grew up in Madison after 1968. So I have some local knowledge here. In the early 80s, when I met my wife-to-be, I got to know her parents real well, Homer and Mick Schuld, who were members at Meadow Springs. Actually lived right across the street, right across Dewey Street. I think that was the 7th green over there. And so I got involved with Jefferson Golf Course quite a bit because of my 40-plus years in the business. The Bruce Company entered the picture in the mid to late 90s. Bruce Company was a landscape company that had built some golf courses around the Wisconsin area, and they came to Jefferson with an offer. And the offer was to make the golf course not only 9 holes, but make it 18, get rid of all their debt. And I thought at the time it was an awesome opportunity. I thought it was a win-win-win, win for the community of Jefferson, win for Meadow Springs, and a win for the Bruce Company. Meadow Springs was struggling, the clubhouse was getting tired, the golf course was getting tired. It needed a lot of resources, a lot of funding to get back to where it could survive. So the Bruce Company got involved in the 1998 or 99. Was doing fine, and then here comes the recession and a saturation of golf in southeast Wisconsin. Just a boom of golf and too many golf courses. The recession hit, and the Bruce Company made a decision to close the doors, which they weren't the only golf course around the country that decided to do that. A lot of golf courses were forced to close their doors. And that's when the opportunity came up to, do we try to save golf in Jefferson? And there was a small group that decided to do that. And the opportunity, knowing that St. Coletta owned those 13 holes on the, would that be the east side of Dewey? The 5 holes on the west side were cost prohibitive, and if we spent that kind of money, there was no way the golf course was going to make it. So put together a deal with a small group, and Jimmy Keene being the main resource, the main funding, we bought the land across the street from St. Coletta's and put the golf course back together. So purchasing the golf course was really just the tip of the iceberg, because this course had been closed for 18 months. The weeds in the bunker, sand traps, whatever you want to call them, was 2-3 feet tall. The grass on the greens was 8, 10, 12 inches tall. It was a mess out there. And no one had really ever taken a golf course that was closed for 18 months and brought it back to where you could play it again. And so we just said, let's try it. We had no equipment, we really had no money, although we owned the land, so we were allowed to go on the land. A young man by the name of Mike Carrick, a friend of mine, and Dale Goggart, I promised not to mention any names, but Dale Goggart, who's my uncle, donated to use a couple 8-foot wide John Deere mowers. And I would come in from out of town, I live about 50 miles from here, and I would come into town and I would just see this giant dust bowl, and I knew that's where Mike was, because you couldn't even see him because the weeds and the grass were so tall, but he was mowing 8-foot wide swatches. And eventually we got this course where the height of the grass was manageable to mow with a normal mower. We had a community day, which was just, it would give you goosebumps. It was very, very humbling and very surreal, because I would say close to 50 people, maybe more, showed up with their pickups, shovels, pitchforks, and we de-weeded all the bunkers. We picked up piles and piles of grass and shrubs and weeds, and just we found a little area that we could put all this stuff, and slowly and surely we got to the point where we opened up the golf course. And what a neat day that was. We actually operated out of a trailer for several years, and I actually thought we could get to the point where we could survive financially. We have found that we're close, but that's why we're here tonight, to truly get everybody involved and understand that this is a 501c3, and we have every opportunity in the world to raise money and to keep this thing viable for a long, long time. In my travels, and not just in Jefferson, but all around the state, being involved in the golf business, I get asked about Jefferson a lot, but one question I do get quite often is why the name change from Meadow Springs to Jefferson Golf Course. Well, first of all, that was a no-brainer, because this is your golf course. This is the community golf course. You're not going to drive 200 miles to come and play this place. You're going to be a community or somewhere in the near vicinity to come and play this golf course. It's going to be convenient, it's going to be in great shape, it's going to be affordable, all the things necessary to make a community golf course last. There was another name change not too long ago, and we changed the name of the 501c3, the non-for-profit. And that, again, was a no-brainer. When we got this thing going, there were so many things going on, and the original name of the charitable foundation has been changed to Jefferson Charitable Golf Foundation. Again, very similar to why the golf course name was changed, because it's your golf course. It's the entire community's charitable foundation. And golfers, non-golfers, hug this thing. It's a miracle that you have golf in Jefferson. Let's keep it here forever. If you have some funds available, or you can help in any possible way, continue to do this, because this is a great thing. How it became a 501c3, my 40 years plus in the golf industry, I found out about a company called Wadsworth Golf, and it's called Links Across America. And so there was an opportunity to get a $250,000 grant for a 9-hole golf course. Well, they made an exception for Jefferson, because Jefferson's 13 holes. But the only way you could get this grant, and I thought the only way the golf course could become financially stable, was to get this grant. So we started applying for 501c3 designation, or whatever you may want to call it. So I started filling out the forms. The government kept saying them back, wanting more and more information. I was encouraged, I shouldn't say encouraged or discouraged by a couple people saying it's not worth it, you'll never get it. And I said it is worth it, because saving golf in Jefferson was worth it, because it's not just for the next 10 years, hopefully it's for another 100 years, because it just truly is a neat amenity for the entire city to have, and the whole community, whether you're a golfer or not. Well, knock on wood, we were fortunate enough to get the 501c3 status. We got the $250,000 grant and got things started. My vision for the future would be to get the entire community, put their arms around this thing, make golf viable economically. Right now we're close, but we need some more resources. Time, talents, and treasures. Again, you can do a lot of things with money. My vision for the future is to have scholarships, to make sure every economically challenged, every injured, every disabled, everyone that has challenges has an opportunity to play golf here. We have maintained the boys golf team, which was one of our goals, which is a great thing. Kudos to the high school for keeping boys golf. There's a lot of boys golf teams being canceled and being eliminated because of costs. The golf team plays for free. One of our goals was to start a girls golf team. We've done that. They've actually won the conference championship. Congrats to Jeff and all the players. We're working with Special Olympics. That conversation continues to go on. My true goal was to host the National Special Olympics. I still think we can get there. And wouldn't that be a cool thing for Jefferson to hang their hat on? To host the National Special Olympics. All service men and women, families, economically challenged, all those things. It's just a wonderful place, and I applaud all of you for being here again tonight to do these things. And again, my vision for the future is that we set up this Jefferson Charitable Golf Foundation so it can be strong enough financially and personality-wise to continue to operate as a golf course for a long, long time, be an amenity to the entire city of Jefferson and all the surrounding communities and all the families. And I applaud the individuals that have put tonight's event together, and I applaud everyone in attendance, because this is a great thing. And God bless you all, and let's continue to save golf in Jefferson forever.